Are the Mists dead content, or are they actually worth something these days? Well, when you go into them from a PvP perspective, yeah, you'd probably have a pretty strong argument that these are dead content, absolutely. But from a gatherer's perspective, they can be arguably one of the best places to access tier 7 and tier 8 materials on a regular basis. So today we are jumping right into the mist, and we're going to see just how often we can find those tier 7 and tier 8s. So when you're entering the portal straight from Brazilian, obviously it drops you in a tier 6. You're going to spend most of your time running around looking for mobs to kill. Now, if I'm being honest, I think the Mist is probably the premier zone where the double-bladed quarterstaff excels absolutely in its escape abilities. Now, I've been playing this for a couple weeks now at least. Tried it in a bunch of different zones. Obviously, we tried it in the roads. We've did some open world. You'll see it coming up soon in one of my new videos coming out. And now we're trying it in the Mist, and so far, I think the Mist is just the most viable for its escape because it works so well against 1 or 2 players compared to such a large group that you would like find in the roads or the open world. Classic advice, always bring journals with you. I bring at least 2 when you're doing open world content like this, or, lethal zone content like this. Tier 6 at the minimum. I still haven't confirmed or denied if clearing these actually helps my chances of an enchanted mist at the end, but we'll do it as often as we can, and we will find out. Don't forget to pop your pies. It seems to be a recurring theme with me, forgetting that. Now, I know I was just talking about it, and I want to mention this a little earlier in the video, but when you're in the lethal zone, you're not... when it comes to a weapon, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. When it comes to the weapon you want to run, you're not always focused on what can kill things the fastest. Now, yes, killing things fast is important, so you're not going to run, like, a tank weapon. You're not going to run, like, a mace or something to clear these mobs. But you do also want to make sure you're running a weapon that has good escape viability. You don't want a weapon that absolutely melts mobs, but then when you start getting chased by a ganker or a group of gankers, you're stuck going at walking speed. So there's certain weapons that give you that ultimate chance of escape. And typically you're going to see a lot of swords. That's going to be double-bladed swords or carving swords. But also, the double-bladed staff, very good option. The reason I bring this up is because I see a lot of beginner gatherers, they make the mistake of bringing what works in the black zone, or not the black zone, they make the mistake of bringing what works in the safe zone, the yellow zone, the blue zone, and they bring that with them to the lethal zone. And it clears mobs, can't argue with it, it absolutely clears mobs, but it just does not give you that escape potential. So keep that in mind when selecting a weapon and loadout to go lethal zone gathering. A little bit of 4.2 is never a bad thing. And lately I have taken a shine to a 6.1 stone, so we'll grab a little bit of that too. What do you guys think about what do you guys think about me doing a getting rich off only stone series? See how long it takes me to reach like 100 mil only gathering stone. I think that's gonna be quite the experience. Very long, very painful. But it could be a neat challenge. Now that the mist has started to close, I will pull these mobs, and then we'll go hunt for our enchanted mist. So as I mentioned in previous videos, enchanted, or well, any wisp during the closure of the mist like to hang out in these clumpy areas. Ooh. What's this? A dead body. They like to hang out in the clumpy areas on the map, so basically near anything that looks like a rock or a ridge or a clump of trees. And here's a rare one. Easy. That was like, what, the third mist we checked? Now let's just cross our fingers and hope it is a tier 7. And it is! And look at how easy it was to find that one. Now, lots of nodes, but on your first lap, you always want to prioritize looking for the mobs, because they will always have full stacks. And a tier 7 mist, 6.1 stone, just not worth my time. But an almost full 7.1 stone is... Definitely want to keep an eye out for that dual swords player. Yep. Same dual swords player, I think. Dismounted. Now we can hear them off screen. They just took their invis pot. It's that same guy. This dual swords guy really wants... No, this is a different one. This is a completely different one. I just realized I have the wrong boot skill on. That player's fighting the bear. Disappointing that I don't get the bear, but 5-2 fiber is not a bad trade-off. There are too many people in this corner, so I am going to cut across the map after I get that 5-2 tree. I think it is the craziest concept in this game that rarer or harder to find Tears of Mists, like this rare one, often have more players than the common ones will. Craziest concept in my mind. So already in one mist, we've found dozens of tier 7 and 7 enchanted materials. You know, speaking of 7 enchanted, somebody's been up here. They got that bear. Oh, but they didn't get these two. Okay. Now I just sit here and gather these for the next 5 years. So, Mist has started closing. It won't take us 5 minutes to gather these, so I'll gather these two and go for this tier 7 tree, and then we'll start enchanted wisp hunting. Level 30 on tier 7 woodcutting. Or it's lumberjackery. Very nice. Alright, let's go hunt down some mists. That is some 7-1 stone. So I'm going to go ahead and prioritize this. Worst case scenario, we get bopped back to a tier 6 mist. Not the worst thing in the world. It was easy enough to find this mist the first time. We'll do it again. With our first pie about to run out, I want to give the obligatory video thank you. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, watching me across videos, live streams, and shorts. You guys are all amazing. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more gathering session profits, tips and tricks, guides, basically everything you need to know to learn, grow, and profit as a gatherer. And also, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I have my first ever Albion Manhunt video coming out very, very soon. I don't have an exact release date for it, but it's a very exciting video. I put a lot of effort into creating this for you guys, and I really hope y'all enjoy it. How many times are we going to reset that fight just so I can swap weapons? I'm not going to take that blood oak tree, that tier 6 tree, because it was super close to the wisp unlocking for transport. I should probably pop the second pie. That might be beneficial. That's a lot of stone golems just hanging around. Too bad 6 flat stone is actually completely useless. The only time you should ever mess with 6 flat, 5 flat, any sort of flat stone below tier 7 is if A, you're trying to unlock those higher tiers, so you're fame grinding, or B, you're might grinding, and, you know, might is might. So tier 6 stone gives just as much might as tier 6 flat of any other material at that point. That's an interesting fella. Right, I was gonna go get that fiber, but the mist just started to close, and we do want to find another enchanted one. So let's start hunting immediately, shall we? And look at that, another enchanted wisp. Now this one has a lower chance, but still a chance nonetheless, of giving us tier 7, which it unfortunately did not. So when that happens, you just jump back out to the closing mist because you still have that high chance, or higher chance, of finding the enchanted wisp that you're looking for. Now, when you're hunting, much like gathering, I like to stick close to the edge when I'm looking for a wisp, but keep in mind, so does almost every other gatherer that is doing this. So don't be afraid to move a little further inwards towards the center of the map if you feel like you're having too much competition or just not enough luck finding something closer to the edge. And of course, remember, before you even see the wisps, sometimes you will see little sparkles, and the color of those sparkles will give away what tier the mist is. So we just saw those sparkles. The next one I see is probably just going to be regular, wherever that is. Now, unfortunately, with about 42 seconds left, I think I am going to have to take that common one. Oh, no, never mind. Good thing I didn't. Look at that. So we found 2 enchanted wisps in this one mist as it was closing. So they're clearly rare, but not beyond belief rare. And this leads to another tier 7 one. So exactly what we wanted. there's one of those chests down there, so keep an eye on that. If that disappears, that tells me that there's at least semi-hostile players. Because usually gatherers won't bother with that. And, wow, lo and behold, it's gone. So somewhere over there, there's a, like I said, at least a semi-hostile player. Now, see, this one is based on proximity because it doesn't have the little star next to it, and it's purple, so... Oh, nice. 125,000. Some of that's in tomes, so it doesn't really count. Or, well, tome and then some bags, but then these tomes. Since these tomes have no value, I'm just going to pop them. They'll help my quarterstaff spec. And unfortunately, this one is already closing, so let's get on the hunt for another one. I heard a fresh one spawn. I realistically should have turned around. And I still could. Nothing's stopping me. I'm gonna go for that bear. T7 skin is just so good. And I recently found out that these guys have a chance to drop the tier 8 cub. Can't imagine it's very common, but... Alright, 2.5 minutes left. Let's go find a wisp. That's definitely worth getting bopped back to a tier 6 mist for. And if you disagree with me, you can take it up with HR. Alright, let's see if we can find a little wisp, which we can right there. Now, these gathering hotspots in the mist, they're really hit or miss. You can go to them, you don't have to go to them. Sometimes they are a magnet for gankers in the mists. So it's really up to you if you want to go check them out. I mean, I always do when I'm in a tier 7 or tier 8 mist. Tier 6 ones, I'll usually scan them for enchanteds, but that's about it. That was me. I did that. Go me. Big help to the guild. Hey, what'd I tell you? We get sort of close to the hotspot, and there's already a dead body. That is delicious. Two of these might have been a good idea to use the poison skin, but you know, it is what it is. And 6/2 skin, that's just wow. That's really good for us. I am inclined to get these fiber nodes just so I can fill up the book, which hopefully this one node can do that. And there it is. Perfect. Thank you, one node. One-handed crossbow, or I think that was the light crossbow. So at least he's not a one-shot dork. I don't have too much time left on the buy, but I am gonna look for an enchanted wisp because, you know, money's money. Not gonna pass that up, that's for sure. I always check the dead bodies because there was one time I was roaming around the mist, I was gathering, and I found a dead body that still had 4 million left on it. So always check the dead bodies, unless, of course, you know, there's an active fight happening and it puts you in immediate danger. But you never know what you're going to find. Like this epic wisp right here. And it brings us to another tier 7. I know technically that will put us past our pie, so we're going to play this really safe and really smart, and just get in, get out. I should have popped the pie before I mounted back up. Level 26 T7 ore. I'm getting there. I just gotta watch out for that horse rider. Yep, look, there's 2 of them. Fantastic. I feel like I'm in double danger. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, let's definitely get away from that. Such a shame, too, because that's right there. I so badly want to backtrack for that 7-1 tree. I think that was a pure gatherer that we just saw. Probably getting hunted by that bow. Yep. Not very stealthy. And there's the close of the mist with a very hostile bow player running around. I'm not really going to wait for the countdown. I'm just going to head out. So it's been like an hour and 6 minutes. So we took an extra 6 minutes out of that pie. Not too bad. So back to Brazilian so we can depot and do some profit calculations. So first, let's see how much we have stockpiled already. So in materials, we are at 86.4 million, and in items, we are at another 8.74 million, bringing us to a grand total of 95.14 million stockpiled away. 95.14, less than 5 million left until our 100 million goal. So now let's put away our tools, as well as unfilled journals. And that brings us to a session profit of 1.99 million. 1.99, not bad at all. Almost 2. We're at 1,990,582. Not very bad. Not very bad. So let's go ahead and get these where it belongs. And so 95.14 plus the 1.99 that we got from this session brings us to 97.13. So 97.13, less than 3 million left. Ladies and gentlemen, less than 3 million left till I can sell this entire stockpile and bump up my liquid profit, or my liquid silver, up another 100 mil. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know a comment down below. Let me know if you are excited for my manhunt video. Like I mentioned, I'm very excited. It is all edited. I'm just waiting to get a release date going for it, and yeah, very excited for it. So sub to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.